Well, hello and welcome back to this e-learning course on developing digital skills in the classroom. This is module 5, which is all about how to use social media. And within this section of module 5, we're going to be having a specific look at social media in the workplace. Now, there's a couple of interesting, important things to mention here to start with. The first thing is, I believe that for certain types of job, using social media appropriately is incredibly important. For example, if you want to be an artist or a graphic designer or an architect or a games designer or a writer, if you don't have a digital portfolio using social media, I think it's very, very unlikely that you will get that job. Increasingly, we also know that people are recruiting via sites like LinkedIn, and we talked a little bit about that in one of the previous modules. So when we talk about social media in the workplace, getting that job in the workplace is also linked to the good use of social media. And it's also important, isn't it, that we're using social media responsibly, therefore. Now, we'll come back a little bit to this in the next video, but increasingly we really need to work with young people in our schools to make sure that they understand that anything they put online is likely to be able to be seen by lots of other people. And this could be people that might give them a job later on in life. What else? Well, also when we talk about social media and responsible use and social media in the workplace, we need to have a little think about as to whether social media will be productive if it's being used internally, or whether actually it will be a distraction and therefore have an impact on productivity. Now, I'm quite sure that the answer to this is not banning all types of social media, it's just making sure that employees have a clear understanding when and where social media may be used. Of course, when we think about responsible use in the workplace, and then we think about responsible use in schools, the interesting question is blocking social media actually responsible? How on earth, as teachers and educators, can we teach children and young people to use social media responsibly if it's blocked within the schools that we work in? So the only thing that we can actually do is describe it, which hasn't got any of the actual detail that we need. I strongly believe that we should be encouraging social media in schools, and as teachers we should be modelling good and responsible behaviour. Let's have a look now at a couple of businesses that are using social media really well. We're going to start with Starbucks. Now, Starbucks, I think, was one of the early adopters of social media and has also done some interesting things with social media over time. So, for example, Starbucks has got a really, really good website. Interestingly, it's built in WordPress, an open source piece of software for developing websites. And the Starbucks website links to a whole host of other social media channels. For example, Starbucks has got a social media page where you can sign up, and you can also as a result of signing up, you can also get access to a number of products and deals. It's got a Twitter account, which also links to its Facebook account as well, so you can choose to follow Starbucks in lots of different ways. And it's also got a YouTube channel, and again, a lot of these services are actually linked within the website itself. One interesting thing that it's also got is it's got this website which is called My Starbucks Idea. And the idea behind this is that Starbucks customers can suggest ways to improve the business. And what's great about this? Well, actually, some of the interesting developments in the Starbucks in the last few years have come actually from this website. For example, the development of the Starbucks card was an idea that a customer in Seattle submitted to the My Starbucks Idea website. So again, it's a great example of how you can use social media to capture the power of the crowds to improve your own products and services. Let's move away from commerce now and have a quick look at social media in government. Now, I think, and I'd probably be a little bit biased here, but the Scottish Government has started to actually use social media quite well. So, for example, we've got the Engage for Education blog, where a number of ministers, in particular the Minister for Education, can put up blog posts about the sorts of things that they're interested in and the sorts of things that they're working in. You'll notice from this screenshot here as well that other social media channels are linked to the blog. So, for example, you can clearly see the Twitter feed there on the right-hand side of the screen. As well as submitting to the blog, they've also, again, adopted this idea from Starbucks, where people can actually submit their own ideas as well to help improve Scottish education. Again, a really, really powerful thing as long as things are acted on. As I mentioned already, we've got a blog where people can share some ideas. It's not just ministers that share ideas there, it's also other people that are involved in Scottish education. This is an example of a post from the International Science Festival. Once again, you can clearly see on the right hand side how people leave comments in order to get feedback. Linked into this kind of social media ecosystem is this Engage for Education Twitter account as well. Again, all linked together and using hashtags for important things. The Scottish Government also has a YouTube channel where again it shares key pieces of policy, but also some of the great stuff that's going on in schools. Now, it's important with any workplace, I think, or any modern workplace, I think, that we have some sort of social media policy. The problem is that a lot like ICT policies of the past, is that these became really, really big documents that nobody really read or nobody really followed. So my advice, just like a social media policy in school, is that social media policies in the workplace should be really, really simple. And it should really just be a little bit around actually making sure that employees understand how they use social media responsibly. And perhaps, we should be thinking around 3 important things or 3 important questions. Is what you're sharing going to add value to the company? Is what you're sharing accurate and up-to-date information? And is what you're sharing either a breach of copyright or is it confidential? And quite simply, if you can stick to these 3 things along with an element of positivity, then actually that's the only 3 things that you really need in any social media policy. Make sure it's adding value, make sure the information is accurate, and make sure that you're not breaching any confidentiality or any laws around the things that you're sharing. Very, very simple social media policy, but at the same time, one that's easy for lots of other people to follow as well. Before I sort of finish up with this video, I wanted just to emphasise how important social media is across Europe in terms of the amount of jobs that are now available in social media. If you'd have done a job search 5 years ago on European job forums, I can guarantee that there wouldn't have been many social media jobs available. But now, just by doing this job search on totaljobs.com, which is a UK job site, I've actually found it's revealed over 3,000 social media jobs, or jobs that have got social media within the job description. Now that's a really, really interesting thing because it's a new way of thinking about things, and it's creating a whole new set of jobs for the European market, and therefore we need a whole new skill set in order to go with it. Now, it's very important, of course, to remember that with the rise of social media jobs, it also means that other jobs might start to go down. And we've seen examples of this in recent years around traditional advertising jobs, because more people are using web advertising than ever before than perhaps advertising in newspapers or magazines, and more jobs, and we've also seen a decline in journalism because more people are reading online newspapers or looking at social feeds as well. So when we think about teaching employability skills to young people, maybe we should start thinking about what priorities we put on the different skills. Social media skills are incredibly important. Teaching young people about traditional advertising, I think, is less important in 2015. So in final summary, we don't have a choice on whether we do social media. The question is how well we do it. Now, whether we're talking about social media in schools or whether we're talking about social media in the workplace, the important thing is that we work with children, young people, enterprise and business to make sure they understand it and therefore make sure that we do it well. That's the end of that little video on using social media in the workplace. Look forward to seeing the final video of this series, which is around safe and responsible use of social media. See you then.